Good evening, everyone. Comebacks are stronger than setbacks. Welcome back to the second season of Voice Out, Speak Up to Reach Out. I am Bonita Fernandes, the founder of Being Beautiful, and Voice Out is a platform I have created so you can express to inspire. The sixth color of the rainbow is indigo and it symbolizes letting go and surrendering. When you heal, you transform, and that is when you need to learn to let go. Now it's time for me to introduce my sixth speaker of Voice Out for the second season. His name is Neeraj Solanki. Well, Neeraj has been a reference to me by the previous speaker of my first season, whose name is Shruti. So, Shruti was the one who actually referred me to Neeraj. And when I spoke to Neeraj, he actually told me he's a chemical engineer by accident. He also mentioned that he was in IT, but he really does not know why. He is an English language teacher. However, his identity is immutable, is that he's an MA in Kathak dancer. So Neeraj, welcome to Voice Out.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. How are you doing?
I'm good, Neeraj. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. Thank you so much for asking.
Okay, so Neeraj, why did you agree to come on Voice Out? Why do you think it is important for a human to voice out their stories?
So this is an interesting question, and first of all, like you said, your previous guest Shruti Patki. So that was the thing for me. I did not have to think twice because I know whatever Shruti does, it has to be an authentic place, and authenticity is something which is very important. And the second part of the question, why it is very important, because I think we all listen to a lot of celebrities going through a lot of things, but I think it is normal people having conversations about all of these issues is also equally important, and hence I think that this is a great platform to have it. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Yes, like I've been saying in all my episodes, that every human has a story to tell, and it is your choice whether you want to voice out or whether you want to sit with it. It's totally dependent on you. But I'm so happy that you agreed to come and speak about your story on this platform. Thank you so much for having. I mean, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Well, you've been following my blog as well as my page on Instagram, which is Being Beautiful. So, what is beautiful according to you? Or what is the most beautiful thing in your life?
So, like you already said in my introduction, my immutable identity is that of being a Kathak dancer, and it's kind of a cliched answer, but it is the my Guruji always says that it's the simplicity. So one of his aphorisms that I always use whenever I'm performing on the stage or wherever I'm interacting with people, like this particular session. So he always says that simple is not easy, and I think that is very beautiful to say, because to even in to speak about your philosophy in very small, concise, precise way, and be able to execute in front of people. So when it comes to Kathak dance also, my movements might feel that these are very simple movements, and maybe even I can do it. A person in the audience maybe probably feel that way, but it takes a lot of efforts, a lot of hard work, and therefore simple is not easy. And I think it is this simplicity that I always try to achieve, and I think all the things in life that are beautiful are also simple as well.
Okay. Well, like in your introduction, I said so many things about you. You're a chemical engineer, you are an IT, then you're an English language teacher, you're also MA in Kathak. So it's your bio actually reads quite a lot about you. So how did all of this happen? Like how did like so many things happen to you?
Oh, so that this is really an interesting question, and I get asked this question a lot actually whenever I'm interacting with friends, or even when in interviews. So one of the things is that I started dancing. My mother tells me that I was maybe around 5 or 6 years of age, and I just started dancing, and my natural style was Kathak. So like nobody told me that this is Kathak or Bharatanatyam or whatever. So my natural style was Kathak, and I have been dancing ever since. And I've been very fortunate to have learned under such very prodigious and very really the maestros of the industry and maestros of the field, I should say. But having said that, there came a point in my life where I went through a lot of existential crisis because, I mean, let's face it, being a male dancer is not easy. I mean, now, thankfully, in the last 5 years, I think the narrative has definitely changed. But when I was growing up, doing engineering was almost considered doing a like a masculine or a like a very manly thing. And
Yeah.
so I took a conscious decision after my 12th standard. So fortunately or unfortunately, I had like more than 97% in my 12th standard. And I was like, okay, I do have option in my life. And I had said goodbye to Kathak because of a lot of, so I don't know whether this is the first time probably I'm talking about all of these things. And I do feel comfortable talking here because, because of whatever you are doing. I think growing up, it was not very easy for me to be a dancer on the stage because I have had my own share of, receiving end of bullying. And it was very traumatic. At that point of time, I really did not realize it was bullying actually. But and my bullies, I still remember their name. They left an indelible, mark on my psyche.
Yeah.
I can still recall at the, tip of my tongue. I can recall the names, but I have nothing against them. So I think there is a reason why I did whatever I did. I had to become an engineer because it was peer pressure and all of these things. And the other thing I would say that once I had proved my mettle as an engineer, because somehow society, family, and everyone actually looked upon being an engineer as something, which gives you authenticity, which gives you that kind of, it's a checkbox. So I did that, and I did my engineering with flying colors, I guess. And then I, like any other engineer, I landed up in IT industry, which was another, I think, was my way of saying to the world that, I can achieve all of these material things. But Kathak was something which kept on calling me. And once again, in IT also, I was very fortunate to work with seniors and peers and mentors. And for me, mentoring is very important. I take it very seriously. So my seniors actually realized that, I do not belong here in the sense that I have this passion, and that passion is always going to, keep on calling me. So I guess it is contributions of my family, contributions of people around me, my friends, and also my mentors in the IT industry, because of whom in 2014 I was able to take this decision that after 8 years in IT industry, I thought that okay, now it's the time to make a comeback and pursue my formal
Yeah.
education in Kathak as well.
Yeah. Well, you also named your episode as comeback. So why did you choose that particular? I mean, obviously I would know that, but I would want you to say it again. Uh, because see, like you said, that you were in different fields when you were growing up. You chose Kathak, then you got into IT, and you worked for 8 years there. And then recognizing your calling at a particular age or at a stage in your life is very important. Sometimes we think that we have crossed our 30s or we've crossed our 40s now. I think why do we change our career, even though we know what is our calling at some point of time, but I think we don't recognize it. Even me, I think I recognize my calling after I can say 35 years of my life. Even though I probably knew it all this way, because I now when I sit and join the dots, I know that this is what I was resonating with. Like for simple reason, the color purple. Okay, like I always like the color purple. I too, most of my things are, even my phone is purple color, or my water bottle. So things like that. But now when I had a meeting with one of my branding guys where my logo was branded. So that when we were speaking about colors and all, and when that's when the purple came out. So I realized purple is stands for transformation. So all this while I think we know what we want, we just don't see it. We either don't accept it, and acceptance plays a very big role in this. We need to accept it. The sooner we accept it, I think life gets easier. So yes, it's very important for people to make a comeback, irrespective of what stage they are in their life or what age they are at. It's not that you reach at a particular age, only getting married is settling down. I think also being successful in your life, financially, emotionally, is also settling down. I think many people need to know this. And yeah, your Instagram page reads a writer with no life. Why would you say something like that?
So it's very funny because I thought that, so writing is something which I have not done professionally. I have only like one book out there which is still available on Amazon. It's a story, like I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote that story. It's co-authored, and my co-author and I just, we got together and we just decided that we'll compile our short stories and the poems also, and we'll just publish it. But basically, writing is a process which I think the more you grow, the more you travel, the more you experience people, the more you interact with people, you get mature and mature, you get more and more mature. And I think when I started writing, I really thought of it as, oh, something quirky, something witty, and it was actually like a manifestation. However, I'll tell you very funnily, when I started applying as an English language teacher, at some places it was only my email ID that was more than sufficient. Actually, they said that, oh, if a person can come up with, this particular email ID which really stands out, and if you notice, there are no numbers also in my email address. Like there is no underscore 123 or like, so it's a very unique email ID. It's what I want to think, or at least what Google told me, and therefore my email address becomes my resume itself, right? So if I send an email address and tell them that I'm an English language teacher, I think that in itself becomes yeah, I cannot see you actually, but I think that you are there. So
You
uh,
can't see me?
yes, now I can see you.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Right. So in a way, I was just saying that, it was just like a stroke of brilliance on my part. I just don't know what happened, and I just thought that, oh, this is something which I should definitely go. And it's a wordplay as well. So that's my resume in nutshell, and that gets me freelance things as far as English is concerned.
Well, you spoke about books. So even I'm into books. I like reading a lot of books. In fact, I started investing in books right now, and I think books help me declutter my thoughts. It helps me keep me busy with something which is useful rather than sitting, and I try to read as much as I can whenever I can. In fact, just before the show, I was reading a book for some time. Today, I've been doing some reading. So, why do you think reading is important? And can you recommend some self-help books where people can actually get and read? I mean, they could be available on Amazon as well.
All right, absolutely, I can do that. So first thing, I'll answer the first part of the question. Why do I read? I think it is a very ethereal experience to me, because the word kathak also means storytelling, right? Katha kahe so kathak kehलाए, storytelling. And I am more into fiction and not non-fiction, really. One of the reasons, I think, so there are two things in my life, I think, which obviously, after the support of my family and everything, there are two things in my life that have actually shaped who I am right now. One is obviously my Kathak guru. He's just not my Kathak guru, he's my spiritual guru and everything, like whatever philosophy I have in my life. And the second thing is something which I teach in my English class also, one of my favorite words, which is empathy. And I think reading a lot of fiction and reading a lot of stories from different countries, I think that has uh, not just theoretically, but also practically made me stop in my tracks. And I can give you a lot of examples, like, why people become writers, why people become artists, why people become, life coaches, like why people do all of, like, the why part of it. I think empathy is the number one thing. And I know it's very popular also to say, it's very fashionable also to say nowadays, but I think I've been reading since last so many years, and whatever I have, whatever thought process I have, is only because of the philosophy that I've learned through reading. Coming to the second part of your question, I am sorry, I'm really not into self-help books. I read mostly fiction, and sometimes I do receive a lot of flack. I'm frowned upon also, like, you read only fiction and not non-fiction. So let's not get into that debate, but I I can recommend so many books. Actually, there are so many books, and especially when I talk about fiction. So there is this thing with me that I really do not. I am, so representation is not something which is very big with me. So I really don't want to read about myself, or I don't want to be represented in literature and so on and so forth. And I think that is my way of looking at world, because if, let's say, a story is set in South Africa, or it is set in USA, or it is set in Europe, or wherever it is, and if the writer actually can make me empathize with the entire story, and with the characters also, I think that is the number one thing with me right now as far as my reading journey is concerned. So about book recommendations, there are at least I don't know, there are so many books that come to my mind, but as and when, at the top of my head, I'll just recommend a few. Orhan Pamuk, My Name is Red. He is a Nobel laureate
Okay.
literature. I fell in love with the city of Istanbul when I read My Name is Red. So it's a historical fiction set in the 16th century Istanbul. Absolutely gem of literature.
I
So
think
Orhan
I
Pamuk,
I think I have that book. I'm not sure someone gifted. In fact, people started gifting me books now, which I am very happy with. In fact, I just recently bought this one which says, the success principles. It's by Jack
all
Canfield,
right.
the co-creator of the Chicken Soup. It is such a wonderful book. I mean, it is this thick, okay, but I started reading it online, but because I can't open my laptop everywhere, I mean, I don't want to roam with my laptop. So I'm quite old school like that. So I still prefer taking a book, going to a coffee shop, reading, or even when I'm at home. So that this book is such a beautiful book, like, because I'm also into life coaching. So that is the reason it has helped me so much to even understand myself, because I have to apply these rules, these principles in my life first, then only I can be coaching and helping other people. So I like these kinds of books, but I have not yet gone to the fiction part. But I think I should, maybe once I'm done with, because I've read all the self-help books, I think, by now, because I keep buying them. But yeah, I think this Istanbul one, I think I have it. Maybe I'll read it.
Give it a try. Orhan Pamuk, Elif Shafak, and there are so many great writers. I just feel that there is one book, and I can endlessly talk about books. Really need to stop me when I start. I really start.
So
So
books
there
is
is
an
this.
interesting topic, at least for me.
Yeah, so that can be like a whole topic. I mean, in fact, on Clubhouse also, the new audio app that we have. So I do have my like own book club there, and I keep on interacting with people, discussing books and all of these things. And it's I think it's very important because ultimately books have really taught me to be an empathetic person, and and I think if ever I pick up pen and put pen to paper and write my own story, or even if a fictional story, I think. I am already standing on the shoulders of giants, and just learning happens every day.
Yeah, true. In fact, even I have been wanting to write a book, but I don't know. I'm always caught up with things, and I'm always see. It's not that my English is excellent. It's quite basic. I don't use those high vocabulary words, but I know I do understand you use it, because when we chatted, also you did. So, I'm not a person who would, use that. I mean, I find it fancy. So for me, it's very basic. So I'm trying to write a book where anyone can read it at any age, because sometimes, first of all, in today's generation, people don't have time, they don't want to read. But I think reading is so important for yourself, and for things people around you, because I started recommending people to read books, get into reading, because reading is something which really helps your mind, and that is the thing which we really need to take care of, at least in today's world, especially during this pandemic, because there are so many thoughts which are running in your head, and they're uncontrollable. You cannot really control these thoughts. It gets really difficult. Well, now, moving from books, I also wanted to talk about the society effect. Like, I'm sure we live in an Indian society, okay, and everybody knows how the Indian society is, how judgmental they are. In fact, the society is you and me as well. Okay, we make the society. So, when I say the word society, I'm not trying to bash any particular religion or faith or anything like that. It is just in general. So does this society bother you in terms of, because you're a male Kathak dancer, and I'm sure you must have gone through, some kind of, some kind of criticism from the society, or were you accepted well in the society, including your family?
So family, I would say, all my siblings, my parents, everyone, they were absolutely supportive of it. I mean, there was never even for a second they doubted my choices of becoming a Kathak dancer and all of these things. As a matter of fact, my younger siblings, I know this for sure that, and I have spoken about this in some other room as well, where I was when, like I said, when I was growing up, I received my share of bullying from, my friends and all of these things, and like, why do you have to wear ghungroos and, or all of these
Yeah.
things. But over the period of time, so once again coming back to, and what happens is a lot of people say, and what my problem with the society is, I'll come to that aspect as well. But when I saw my Guruji, Pandit Rajendra Gangani ji, onto the stage, and so he was the only male Kathak dancer who said that, we do have mustache, right, and we dance like men. So, and having said that, whenever there is Guru Purnima, wherever we are in front of him, right? So there is this importance of this thread. This is not a religious thing. I'm just sharing the philosophical aspect of it. So this is my right hand, and he has tied his thread onto my right wrist, isn't it? But let's say if you also become his disciple, you are a female, right? He would tie that holy thread onto your right wrist, not onto your left. So there is no discrimination. So when
Okay.
I was with him, I was getting these life lessons as well, that when I'm in front of my guru, the distinction between male and female actually ends. And you are just a shagir, you are just a disciple, and that distinction ends. So that gave me a lot of confidence actually, to be comfortable with myself, who I am, and all of these things. One of the things that I have a problem with the society is, I really would like to call out the hypocrisy, in the sense that when we talk about Indian culture and all of these things, I sometimes do get receive this flack, saying that, like, why are you not practicing this, or why are you not practicing that? And I really am tired of explaining it to people that, when I am actually worshipping my gurus, it's also actually following like whatever particular thing that everyone expects me to follow. I am doing my Shiva Stuti, Ganesh Stuti, Saraswati Vandana, Durga Stuti, and all of these things. So I am following, and I'm actually trying to live to the best of my abilities. When it comes to Indian culture, and when it comes to mythology, and when it comes to talking about our sacred scriptures, I think it's very fashionable to talk about scriptures, but when it comes to practicing it, I have not seen many people. So for example, I do a couple of years ago, I did have some very lovely neighbors, in the sense that whenever I used to do my riyaz at my own place, they would start having heart attacks. They would start, so it was such a, so I was being very sarcastic there, because my neighbors, I think they really loved me. But the same neighbors would just go on to, trumpet about Atiti Devo Bhava, and we listen to Indian classical music, and we are patrons of classical music. No, I don't think so. I would really like to take this opportunity and call it out. I think if we start practicing what our scriptures actually mean and actually tell us, we'll be a better society. So maybe I might come out as a little harsh, but this is the reality that I face
That is
every
a
day of my
fact.
life.
So that is a fact. Like it is important for like whenever I say society, it's you and me. Like I said, it is not even sometimes we have misconceptions about people. Like especially in India, like where there are colonies where there are people standing in one. I would not name the gender, but there are people standing in one corner talking about the girls and the boys and things like that, wherein they fail to see what is happening in their own house, which is not right. You are talking about somebody else's daughter or somebody else's son. Well, that person has a mother and has siblings, and they themselves uh, are
Absolutely.
are a part of the society. I mean, you need to see what is happening in your house rather than seeing what is happening in somebody else's house. I don't live in India right now, but when I was living in India, I myself faced this, right from my school till I was growing up, and till I was in India. In fact, even now when I go back, people are so inquisitive about your life that, you know, what is happening, why is this, so what is happening, like, because this is how the society is, and I think I have accepted that, and I have moved on from that, and now I have the courage to give it back, because obviously, I know that this is how things function. So, well, my last question to you is, I spoke about letting go and healing. And being beautiful is all about mental health, about acceptance, about how important it is to accept your mind. So, what do you, I mean, as an individual, what do you think? What would you opt, like holding on or letting go, and why? And why would you choose that? Why would you make that choice?
So ultimately, I think letting go is the most important thing, because that is where the healing process will start. If you hold on to, I guess if you hold on to even the positive things, sometimes it can become toxic positivity as well,
Yes.
isn't it? I mean, there can be negative connotation to too much of positivity as well. We need to strive to achieve that fine balance, I guess. And I think letting go is absolutely important. So one small anecdote that comes to my mind is, when I was on stage initially 7 or 8 years ago, my identity as an engineer was also very important for the audience. They were like, "Oh, he's an engineer, and then he is a male dancer," and then I used to get that thunderous round of applause and all of these things. But when I was performing in Kanyakumari, and so what happened is, this was a very ethereal experience for me, because after I had performed, there was an absolute pin drop silence, and I thought that, oh, this was a completely flop show. I think the audience did not like it. And after that, there was a felicitation ceremony and everything. And then one gentleman, and one elderly person, he approached and he said that, beta, why we did not clap is because we were so engrossed in your performance that we actually forgot to clap. And I think that was the greatest compliment I received. And I guess I received that compliment only because I started not having any grudges anymore. So, like I said at the start of the interview, I was bullied and everything. But I think now I've understood the psychology as well. So the people who were bullying me, the people who were criticizing me, it was all about them. It was never about me.
Yes. Yes.
So my healing process started because I have now understood it is not about me.
Yeah.
And probably I would like to reach out to them and maybe start
Yeah.
their healing process as well, if let's say that has not started. So I would just say that letting go is very important.
I think, whenever somebody puts you through any kind of pain, or someone is hurting you, it is because simply they themselves are hurt from within. And I have understood this after very long, because I was under, that impression of self, like I used to criticize myself, like why is this happening to me? Why is this person this bad to me? Why he or she is not talking to me? Why, are they ignoring me? But it took, obviously, like when you learn through different stages of your life, whenever one thing I know, and I always tell my clients or whoever I'm talking to also, that if somebody is putting you through any kind of pain, or they are hurting you, or that is because they themselves are in that position and they are projecting it on you. It is not
On
about you, it is about them. And
them.
we need to understand this. The more we understand and accept it, I think it becomes easier, and we stop self-criticizing, because anything bad happens to you, you will question your existence. You'll be like, what have I done? Like, I have not done anything. Why he or she is treating me this way? But we fail to understand that that person is, even if someone is angry, it happens in the corporate worlds a lot. Like, the boss will shout at you, or there would be a colleague talking about you, they would be jealous or whatever. So many things are happening. It happens in my office as well. But that is not because you're doing anything wrong. That is because you're doing the right thing and they cannot be there. I think
Exactly.
that is what we need to understand, especially people who are working in offices, that it is not about, you just do your job, that's about it. And you will be rewarded at the right time. So, Neeraj, thank you so much for this lovely evening. And before we wind up, is there anything that you want to say, in whatever is in your heart, mind, anything you can say to me? And I think we have one guest of yours as well. And if anyone has any questions, you all can ask Neeraj right after this.
So I just wanted to, really thank you for what you are doing. I think, such conversations and such unfettered and complicated conversations. I am a champion for uncomfortable conversations, and I really felt at home. I did not feel that this was it was an interview. I really felt that I was talking to my friend, and I think that is very important to create that space. I absolutely believe in creating that safe space for people, whether it is my book club or whether it is platforms like this. So I think you're doing a phenomenal job, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, and thank you guys for joining in. Thank you, Neeraj, once again. I have a lot of gratitude towards whatever you have done for my show. And guys, please stay safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. And good night. Have a lovely weekend.
Bye everyone. Namaste.